stars we go, and leave behind everything I used to know. Somebody's giving me a whole lot of money to do what I think I want to.
Ah, beautiful. Backyard terrorism. Hello everyone, I am Minidroit, and I've been on a fighting game craze recently. No, not fisticuff type fighting games, item-based fighting games. My last video was on Open Fire, one of my favorite gun games on Roblox. And while it was a great game, it was a little unpolished. It had a bit of a rustic feel, but considering that two guys made it, it was impressive. Though, I wish there was a game like it with more polish and quality. Oh, Blast Zone. Blast Zone is a game developed by Blast Zone team, a group with a really haughty description. Welcome to the Blast Zone official group, brah. For our most gifted blasters, brah. If you're reading this, you are exceptional, brah. No, don't be bashful, brah. It's true, brah. Look at all those maps, brah. Search out from the distance, brah. Every one of them stays so important to a player to change the world forever, brah. A player just like you, brah. How are you gonna change the world, brah? Well, it's up to you, brah. God gave you these gifts, and I'm giving you the chance to use them, brah. I don't mind telling you, brah. We're excited up here, brah. Newton, Einstein, now you, brah. Good luck, brah. World's most Blast Zone fan, brah. The glaze is insane. Especially for a game that just opened fire with bombs. Or is it? Maybe the game is so high quality that the community deserves to be this proud of it. Well, let's find out. Starting with login rewards. Man, I haven't seen these since the Neon Knights video. This is how Blast Zone introduces its different currencies. Coins, diamonds, and stars. Stars are the rarest form of currency and are used to buy new weapons, while diamonds are for emotes, and coins are literally useless. I have no idea what they're supposed to be used for. You can tell because I have too many of them. A whopping 21,000 coins. It doesn't help that they give you coins for doing anything. Hit a guy into a wall? Coins. Kill someone? Coins. Lightly grace the skin of your enemy, letting the wind surrounding your bomb barely brush your face? Coins. I'm sick of it. What am I supposed to do with all these coins? Maybe if I could convert these coins into diamonds and turn those diamonds into stars, then they would be useful. But now we're only teased with an inaccessible coming soon page with a coin background. Anyway, let's get back to that weapons tree. You start with 6 basic weapons: a bat, hammer, pair of boxing gloves, trowel, bomb, and crate. From these basic items, you can unlock different versions of these weapons. Just look at how expansive the bat's progression is, or the hammers, or the gloves, or the trowel. Alright, the actual weapons tree starts from the crate and bomb. You know, maybe we got off on a bad start. You're just so mediocre, crate. Let's get into the items I own. Starting with the metal bat, which is my go-to for melee combat. Its controls are simple. Clicking M1 swings your bat and does 35 damage to your opponent, while holding down M1 charges your swing, dealing up to 55 damage to your opponents. The metal bat is good. I like its speed and simplicity. It's just reliable and it fits my playstyle perfectly because I don't use my melee much. And whenever I'm in melee range, the metal bat makes it easier to create some distance between me and my opponents. Unlike its degenerate cousin, the wooden bat. The only difference between these two bats is the wooden bat has less knockback. Why? I get it on paper. Having a bat with less knockback makes close range combat easier since your opponent stays in melee range. But in practice, you're more likely to die in this range because of how powerful the other weapons are. You can be bombed, anviled, walled, punched, smushed. Staying in melee range is a terrible idea. Not only are there better weapons for close quarters combat, but during a fight, it's better to create some distance between you and your enemies so you can decimate them with stronger weapons. The reduced knockback also makes it harder for you to slam enemies into walls, which does additional damage to them. The wooden bat is just an inferior version of the metal bat, but I would take it any day of the week over a default hammer. Don't get me wrong, the hammer is pretty strong. It deals 55 damage every swing. The issue is its built-in input delay. You click your mouse, wait for the heat death of the universe, and then miss your opponent because they aren't brain dead. Okay, it's not that bad, but I hate it. This input delay makes the hammer unreliable, and for that reason I can't trust it with close quarters combat. Therefore, I don't use it. The rocket hammer is just a better version of it anyway, but we will get there when we get there. The trowel is great, and it's the one item I always keep in my toolbar. You build a wall in one click. Amazing. It may seem basic, but being able to build walls during a fight is a useful skill. Walls can block incoming projectiles, absorb collateral splash damage, and hinder your opponent's movement. The Trials control over the arena is awesome, and it's easily one of my favorite items in the game. Crates are dumb and I don't use them. And I don't use the boxing gloves either. But if I had to describe them, I'd call them the better polar opposite of the hammer. Now, the bomb is one of the strongest items in the game. It's a bomb. I don't have to explain how it works. But you can vault at your enemies, and when it finally connects, it feels amazing. I know I've been making fun of some of the weapons in this game, but Blast Zone is fundamentally built around bombs and your ability to use them. They just feel so satisfying to use. If the game only had bombs and bats, it would still be successful. Well, bombs, bats, and bomb launchers. These bomb launchers take things to the next level. Remember how satisfying it felt to kill someone by vaulting your bomb into them? Yeah, try double dunking them. This is why I play Blast Zone. There's nothing more satisfying than annihilating your opponent with double dunks. The hand cannon is my favorite launcher because the increased impact damage of the bomb meshes perfectly with explosion damage. I've gotten so many kills with this weapon. In fact, I've gotten this many kills with it. I knew that stat tracker would come in handy one day. Alright, I'll rapid fire through the other items, because they're all kind of the same. The nuke is terrible. It has the largest blast radius of all the bombs, but also the longest fuse, and it's just boring to use. The impact bomb is amazing for mobility. It's a bomb that does no damage, and I love using it with melee weapons. However, because of Blast Zone's unified bomb timers, it's terrible for people who use bomb launchers. If you couldn't tell, I love bomb launchers, so... Also, the impact nuke is literally a joke. Who uses this thing? The rocket hammer is like the nuke and hammer's bastard child. It sucks. It does the most damage out of all the melees, and has the greatest knockback. But god is it slow. It charges, holding up to 3 stocks with varying power levels. I already said how much I hate the hammer's input delay, but it takes it to the extreme. The only viable reason to use the rocket hammer is to catapult the anvil, which I also hate. The anvil can insta-kill any player it touches, but it's extremely heavy and hard to move. I hate the fact that there's an insta-kill weapon in this game. It's not hard to avoid, but fighting against a good anvil user feels terrible. Also, the fusion cannon is pretty alright. I used to main it, but essentially, it's a bomb launcher with a projectile that can't be reflected, and I can't double dunk. So you trade double dunking for confidence that your projectile will connect. It's pretty fun to use, but I love the hand cannon more, so... Also, rocket launcher sucks. Now, there are a ton of other weapons in Blast Zone, but I don't care enough to get into them, so let's focus on the maps. There are many maps in this game, range from always active to never played because democracy. No, seriously, in my months of playing Blast Zone, I've never played on Raven Rock until I started filming for this video. Raven Rock itself is not a great map either. It's very open, but because the center is recessed, no one fights there. And as a result, most of the fighting occurs on the outer rim. And these fights are not fun. Most of them are barely fights. It's just one guy flinging the other into the void after one hit. There's no drama or tension in these fights. Whoever is facing the center wins easily. Also, I just think it looks ugly. It's just so... colors. It's too saturated and bare for my taste. Plus, Raven Rock's just outshined by its much better cousin Bloxburg. Yeah, it took me 3 server hopping sessions just to get footage of this map, but it's one of my personal favorites. Firstly, it's not as open as Raven Rock, so fights feel fairer and it usually lasts longer too. Secondly, it's mostly flat, meaning that cross-map shots are more common and most people fight in the center. Also, the buildings that you can enter are really cool too, and I feel like saturated colors fits Bloxburg's vibe way more. Bloxburg feels more like a LEGO playset than Raven Rock does, and I feel like the brighter colors are used more tastefully in Bloxburg. Oh, and City Destruction's awesome, but what if instead of fighting in LEGO City, we were fighting in Fukushima? Reactor Core is one of the more unique maps in Blast Zone, as it's split in 3 main sections. The nuclear core, the shipping sector, and, the rest. You're basically guaranteed to die outside the reactor because of how open the area is. And if your opponent's good at using rails, you're probably gonna end up in the lava. The shipping container section is actually not that popular, but it's a pretty good place for getting long-range kills since it faces the core's entrance. But other than that, it's pretty boring. There are a plethora of boxes though, so if you're used to fighting with crates, then this must be heaven for you. But still, you're probably spend most of your time fighting the core. For a good reason too, because, despite being open and having many opportunities to die, most of the fights here are actually pretty intense. I think that the thinner platforms around the core contribute to higher stakes of the map. Because of how concentrated the area is, players need to be more cautious with their movements, and this leads to more engaging fights. It's actually great design, and the multiple teleporters spread throughout the map makes it easy for players to fight each other. Oh right, I forgot to mention, there are teleporters in this game. Well, portals. They act like the portals from the 2016 Egg Hunt, and honestly they're just kind of annoying to deal with. You can shoot bombs through them, but being destroyed by an anvil that's been launched through a portal feels terrible. Anyway, do you know that the core can melt down? Yeah, the core expands and kills everyone in its vicinity. It's a pretty cool event, but it's not too special. It's not like some random events. Oh hey Cloud Pass! This map. Yeah, I honestly don't know why it's so popular. It's basically a student-inspired brick battle but on crack. Just look at this layout. There are portals everywhere. Look at them. Green, red, yellow, white. Where did they go? Seriously. It's like the developers remembered they had portal models and they slapped them all over the map. As for actual gameplay, it's alright. Most of the fighting happens on a bridge, and most of the kills you get there are just simple knockouts because how open the section is. Yeah, the middle's a little too open. A metal bat or impulse bomb could easily clear this place out. Though, the center becomes much more interesting when... Oh god. Oh god, oh god, oh god, no! Yeah! Every 3 minutes, the game decides that the people in the middle are having too much fun, and then unleash the wrath of God upon the players. Just... look at this. Are you supposed to survive this? That being said, it's really fun. The wave of destruction that overcomes you awakens a visceral fear inside of me that no other map has, and that is awesome. Because of this event alone, Cloud Pass is one of my favorite maps. Never mind, this map sucks. So, we've covered the ground and the sky. What's next? Space! Lunar Arena is probably one of the greatest maps in Blast Zone. The entire area is surrounded by a glass dome that you can fling people into. I personally love that this map is closed off because it makes fights a lot more interesting. Instead of focusing on knocking your enemies into the void, fights rely more on outplaying or overwhelming your enemy. I love using the hand cannon on this map because of how flat it is too. There are multiple launch pads to give you more mobility, and a ton of boxes that add more complexity to the gameplay. Also, insta-kill regions. Because yeah, most of the fighting happens in the center, and the center can actually rise, which is kind of weird. It's some of the lamer map events. The bottom opens and there are multiple speed boosting items around the perimeter. That's it. Lame, I know. But aside from that boring scripted event, Lunar Arena is still one of the most fun maps to play on. Now, there are a ton of ports of classic Roblox maps, but if you've played the original, then you've already experienced them. The port of Chaos Cannon is amazing though, and I'm glad that they included it because it's my favorite classic Roblox map. Yes, it's better than Crossroads. So, what do I think about Blast Zone? Is it the best fighting game on Roblox? Well, no. Personally, I think it's very one-note and flat. Let's compare Blast Zone with Open Fire. Blast Zone definitely has more players and more quality than Open Fire, but I find Open Fire more fun. Not only does Open Fire have more variety in its gameplay, gun selection, and well, axes of aiming, but I find Open Fire straight to the point, no nonsense gameplay and more fun than Blast Zones. Are there some advanced mechanics in Blast Zone that I haven't mastered yet? Yes. And sure, there are weapons I haven't used. But I don't go to Blast Zone first when I want to play an FPS game, or a fighting game. Blast Zone's a good game, but it's not the best fighting game. That's Open Fire. So, it gets a 7 out of 10 for me. Which is basically my way of saying, it's a good game, but to me it's only alright. That's all to say about Blast Zone. Goodbye everyone.
When I need